It's the penultimate race of the season for the 2019 3WideRacing League RaceKings Cup Series. We head now to Richmond Raceway for the second to last race of the season. And what better place to settle some scores and set up the next championship weekend at Homestead with a little bit of short track racing. Welcome to SimTV. My name is Kyle Hyder, joined tonight by Finian DeCuna. Finian, Richmond Raceway, at least in the Fuel Cup Series a few weeks ago, was rough and tumble, drivers running into each other and running into the fence. A lot of aggression getting it out before the end of the season. Next week we go to Homestead. There's 6 drivers that have a chance to run for the championship next week. And those drivers are, as I cycle on through, that was not supposed to, I was supposed to fix that, but that didn't work. Anyway, cycling on through, they are the 54 of Matt Gruenberg, the 56 of Tate Lightle, the 52 of Justin Kolb. Those are the 3 that are really in the most contention right now, separated by only a couple points apiece as we head into our second to last race of the season. So Richmond Raceway, Finny, this is a challenging racetrack for any driver, but when the stakes rise as we get to the last part of the season, Tate Lightle walked out of Rockingham with a victory. Your thoughts on his chances to go to victory lane and take the championship next week at Homestead?
Yeah, I think he's got a really good shot at there. You see it finally on the screen there. Just a 3-point lead over Matt Gruenberg. It's not a big lead, but definitely enough to at least give him a bit of comfort going to this round. He doesn't necessarily have to win this round, but he should try to finish as close as he can to Matt Gruenberg. But yeah, I think it's really between them two at the moment. Frankenfield's dug himself quite a bit of a hole after last week. He has to dig himself out this week and pretty much has to win almost the next 2 rounds.
All right, heading down to the racetrack for qualifying. Robert Hill Jr. on the racetrack in the number 6 again, filling in for Levi Zielinski. This has been a very fruitful change for this 16. They've run quite well since Robert Hill Jr. got in this car, and he's actually qualified second. A lot of drivers just beginning their qualifying effort. Jordan McKeeboy in the 21 going around the racetrack right now.
Here he ends up a few guys out there qualifying, not many though. You see Tate Lightle, Richard Lafferty, Sam Close, and McKeeboy out on the track. Everyone else still waiting in the pits.
Right on board with Sam Close as we head down through turns 1 and 2. This racetrack is challenging, Finney, and it's very particular about the line you choose, but what makes this place so different from Iowa? Because they look similar at first glance, but they drive pretty different.
Yeah, I think Iowa is really used to the corners are a lot less tight, a lot wider corners radius-wise, so carry a lot more speed here. This is more, traditional short track. You can slow down quite a bit for these corners. You guys also have quite a bit of downforce to work with too, and we've seen a lot of guys take advantage of that.
Tate Lightle at Rockingham last week ended up winning that race. Probably came in there with not the expectation that he'd be in victory lane, but now I think there's an expectation that he's going to have a shot to win the championship next week. 3 points over the 54 Matt Gruenberg. If he can finish within 3 spots of Gruenberg today, barring some kind of incident, he'll go into Homestead with a chance. All he's got to do next week if he does that is beat the 54. Now that's easier said than done, but I'm really liking this 56 as Josh Adams goes to the top of the board. 7 thousandths of a second ahead of Kevin Finn, who's currently second.
Yeah, very tight at the front of the field. See where Lightle ends up. Gruenberg, so he's starting to roll out onto the track. So looking at the 56 and the 54, where are both of them going to end up on the starting lineup?
Johnny Thomas in the 83. Rolling around the course right now and getting set up for his effort. In addition to the 52 of Justin Kolb. Now, this one was a surprise. I don't think at the beginning of the season, if you told me the 52 of Justin Kolb will be competing for a championship, I would have said, okay, yeah, maybe he might have, he might get into the playoffs. But I did not think he'd be 3rd in points coming into the penultimate race of the season with a legitimate chance to win the championship. If the 56 or the 54, or the 15 for that matter, make mistakes, Justin Kolb's going to be there to take it home at Homestead.
Yeah, and I think that's where the position he's kind of sitting at. I don't think you could really beat those 2 on raw pace. He's really going to have to hope that they make a mistake or get into each other or have separate incidents. And then he can just kind of merge through the snow. But coming through to start his lap. And
he'll take 1 lap at it, and he'll go to 5th on the board as Gruenberg goes second. But look at Tate Lightle, top of the board with his time, a 19.735, which is good enough for P1. Chad Frankenfield in the 15, another driver that we would have thought would have been mighty competitive. And he has been, but last week was a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, he really, again, like I said, he's in a position where he pretty much needs to win the next 2 weeks to really get a shot at this. You get 3 bonus points for winning a race, and that's pretty much why Lyle has a 3-point lead over Gruenberg.
So, 15, I think this is the driver we have to see pick up before next week at Homestead. I don't really think he's going to be able to go into Homestead with a chance to win the championship unless he gets better, because last week wasn't terrible. He didn't finish all that bad, but you're going to have to be near perfect if you're going to beat especially that 54.
Considering his main championship rivals finished first and second, again, it's not the best scenario when he finished fifth. Again, not bad finish by any means, but when you're competing for a championship, it's not a good situation, and he's going to end up qualifying in 7th as they're getting ready for gridding.
200 laps on the board for tonight for the second to last race of the season here in Richmond, Virginia. As the sun settles below the horizon, the field lining up to start this 200 lap event. The 42 of James Miller has been awful good lately. We said earlier, if this driver had been in the playoffs, he would be a championship contender right now, potentially even leading the points with how good he's been running. So James Miller, maybe a missed opportunity there, but Matt Gruenberg in the 54 lines up on the outside of the front row. And again, he's been the driver to beat in everything he's ever run in this series, but I think he's got some competition, and no longer does he have a bubble to rest on. He's going to walk into this race and have to contend.
I was going to say, for most of it, I mean, really in the truck series too, he's been on the defensive, really in the points, being in the lead, but now he's been pretty much, he has to be on the offensive, as he's right in behind Lightle. Lightle starting in front of him. Taking
a look at our track conditions tonight, nice and cool. This means high grip. It also means we're going to see the aggression level pick up, because I think people are going to drive into corners harder and accelerate harder, so we might see a little bit more car-to-car contact tonight. And we'll roll through our starting grid as the field lines up for their pace laps tonight. On the front row, Tate Lightle in the number 56, right alongside the 54. Matt Gruenberg, again, the drivers with the cyan blue numbers are the drivers in the 3-Wide RaceKings Cup Series playoffs.
Yeah, moving on back, probably the best of the rest, really, between these two drivers. James Miller in the 42, going to be starting on the inside. Outside of him in 4th, Josh Adams in the 95.
Row number 3, Kevin Finn, another playoff contender in the number 14 machine. He starts in P5. Justin Kolb, 3rd in the points walking into the night, only 9 points back from the leader. He's starting in 6th.
Back into 7th, we got Chad Frankenfield in the 15. He's going to have a long way to go to the front. Sam Close outside of him in the 5. Will be starting in 8th.
Row number 5, Chuck Sweeting in the number 26 car. He's from Florida. He starts 9th. Alongside him in 10th, the JTR Chevrolet, Richard Lafferty in the 8.
Back in 11th, they're going to have Johnny Thomas in the 83 on the inside. I believe the furthest back of the championship competitors. Outside of him in 12th, Dave Hunt in the 53.
13th, Robert Hill Jr. in the number 6. Not a great qualifying effort in that 6 car, but he's been pretty good the last few weeks. Frank Sims in the 75, one of the lone Toyotas in the field. He starts P14.
On back to 15th, we got Jordan McKeevoy in the 20. He needs to be starting in the back. Has some decent speed in that car. Outside of him, I don't know if there's anyone.
There will be. It'll be Richard Hines, and then to the inside in the next row back will be Nick Miller in the number 9. A little bit of shuffling because of yeah, whatever you said. As the field moves up a row. All right, rolling through to start the penultimate race of the season. Up at the front, it's the 56 of Tate Lightle, from first on the last lap last week to first on the first lap this week. That 56 car has risen to the occasion. 200 laps at Richmond Raceway.
I also want to mention Richard Hines is starting in last place. Don't want to leave him out.
Yes, Richard Hines in the 2. Had a great run last night in the Truck Series race at Knoxville. So coming to the green, 200 laps. This race will take about an hour if it goes green to the end. Here we go. Playoff time continues. And we got one more pace lap. That was a Vince Welch moment.
Yeah, even I was thinking it too.
Oh man, I lost track. Okay, the 1 to green tripped me up. That was a Vince Welch moment right there.
I was like, wow, David Will is leaving a really big gap.
Yeah, well, oops. Here we go to start. I remember Vince Welch at Eldora this year, or I think it was this year or last year. Said something along the lines of, "Here he comes to take the white flag."
He's not good. I saw that video post, and I want to watch that later.
It's short, but it's sweet. He picked Marty, but he should have picked Vince Welch.
I think he's on between Welch
or Kyle Heyer. All right, coming to the green flag. Finally, 200 laps. Playoff time continues. Green flag in the air at Richmond.
Now we're finally underway. Tate Lightle off with the lead. Gruenberg not going to really fight a whole lot on the outside. Going to try to slot right in behind the 56. And see a lot of the guys in behind doing the same.
Out of turn 2, flying down the back straightaway, and the 56 clears Matt Gruenberg for 3rd place. The 42 of James Miller slots in there, but the 95 of Josh Adams fights hard on the outside as they finish lap number 1.
Well, yeah, so you get a little bit loose coming out of turn 4 on the inside, trying to keep going and trying to keep up the speed here. battle not done quite yet.
Side by side for third as the two leaders try to pull away. Everyone else has single filed out. The 42, Miller's going to pop right in line behind Josh Adams. And here comes Kevin Finn in the 14, trying to rev up that engine and get a run on that 42 Ford.
He's got some pretty serious pace, honestly, more pace than I thought he would have had coming into this playoffs. Again, not necessarily in the championship fight, but still running pretty well. Ran pretty well at Rockingham, too, until he had was involved in an incident.
Off into turn 3, but look who's coming for the lead. Matt Gruenberg, he's got a deficit to Tate Lightle coming into this event. It's not something he's used to having this season. Down to the inside for turn 1, Lightle moves up a lane, gives him the space side by side for the lead here early at Richmond.
Seem to have a little bit of a look. He's going to pull out a line on the back straight away.
Ooh,
going to get very close. Lytle slips up.
Was there a little contact there maybe? It looked awful tight, but the 54 stuck the nose in late.
I think he actually just scared Lytle out of that, and here we go now. Gruenberg to the inside.
Oh, look at the slide that the 54 had on corner exit. Can't get the drive down. Here comes Josh Adams in the 95 in his Chevrolet.
Side by side for the first 2 rows. Lytle still fighting it on the outside lane. He's going to keep the lead there. Oh.
Not willing to give it up here early on lap number 5. Lytle leads that lap door to door through 1 and 2. That 54 is working hard, but this is just not enough grip down there.
That outside lane looking really promising here. We saw the same thing with Adams over Miller in behind. Saw him roll that outside lane. When you're able to pinch that guy down to the apex, they can't really go anywhere.
And what does Josh Adams do? He's going to fill this hole on the outside. He might actually stand a chance of getting by the 54. So he might try to throttle up right here and just sneak to the outside lane, but Gruenberg will fill that gap and plug the hole.
Man, that looks so beautiful.
Yeah, it does. Starting off clean and green, but Tate Lightle is under attack.
Actually, did Gruenberg, was he able to lead the lap?
Let's give a check here. Let's see. Has he led a lap? No. He has not.
Yeah, that's going to be big. I think he's going to lead a lap.
Oh, slide! Whoa! Big slide for the 54 out of turn 2 and drops down 5-6 spots.
Well, not going to lead a lap if he does that again. That was really close there. He's going to drop in behind Frankenfield. Wow.
A massive moment for the 54, and as he does that, that's going to allow some of his playoff contenders, including Chad Frankenfield, to drive right around him, and those are points lost as he drops down.
This is really uncharacteristic for Gruenberg the last 2 weeks. I haven't really seen him make any mistakes so far this season at all, really. Maybe one. But like these last 2 races with that speed penalty last week, this is going to drop down in 6. He's going to have to work all the way back up to Lytle. And Lytle actually is under attack from Adams.
Josh Adams in the 95 got a really good run down to the inside lane. Drag race down the back. And he's driving off in deep into the corner as Josh Adams. If you're Tate Lightle, I mean, do you bother fighting this early for a non-playoff contender?
I would, especially considering Gruenberg's back there now. If Lytle, I think really the thing he might be looking at is potentially trying to get the bonus point for leading the most laps. It's an extra point that Gruenberg wouldn't be able to get, especially being back there.
Oh, so. Wall contact for the 42 of James Miller, and Kevin Finn swings to the inside as Josh Adams dives in turn 3 again, trying to clear this 56, but the outside lane has been dominant so far, at least in terms of holding on to positions.
Yeah, so I think Lytle's going to fight for this as much as he can, considering he's still on the outside. Of the 95, arguably the better lane. He seems starting to roll it just a little bit more. But Adams is not giving up just yet.
So one thing we have talked about when Fuel visited here a few weeks ago is this racetrack is pretty difficult now with this new package. Aero push is a thing, and it's at short tracks, and this has made this so difficult to make passes, especially on the bottom of the racetrack.
I heard Brad Kozlowski too was complaining about it when the Cup Series just went to Martinsville.
Yeah, I mean, you think about how big these spoilers are. You're going 50, even 50, 60 miles an hour. That's a pretty big wake they're producing. But Miller in the 42 trying to hold off Kevin Finn and the 15 of Frankenfield. So a trio of Mustangs following the 42. Very tight racing up at the front. This is the closest we've seen a Richmond race in recent memory. And again, they're all close together. It's just difficult to make passes. But Frankenfield's trying to deny the 14-4 spot. Dives to the inside up turn 4. Can't get the job done. We'll try again on the front straight.
Yeah, I think really the only way you're going to make a pass on the inside is we're going to dive into the corner. Otherwise, you're pretty much going to have to roll that outside lane. I think we've pretty much seen only passes work on that outside lane so far this race.
Finn's moved up 1 spot, so Frankenfield will be putting him right back where he started. Frankenfield started 7th. He's climbed 2 spots. But of course, Matt Gruenberg, the story so far, the struggling he's had on the exit of 2, getting power to the ground without spinning those tires, dropped down to 6th from a starting spot of 2nd. As Lightle up the road still holds off the 95.
Looks like Adams content running in second for now. I think Adams, again, he's just really out here to win this race, so I think he's just kind of looking at this maybe long-term strategy. If he can't pass 55, 56 on the track, maybe we try to pass him the pits.
Well,
he's definitely got the pace.
There's always the bumper option, and we've seen that be exercised quite a bit.
I don't think he's going to probably want to use that because obviously he's in the championship fight. I don't think he.
Well, do you think Josh Adams cares? I mean, he's just trying to get a victory at this point. I mean, with 2 races left, I think Josh Adams' concern is getting his own victories.
I think if the driver in front of him didn't have a blue spoiler, I think he probably wouldn't care. But I think I feel like he probably doesn't want to get quite involved with this championship battle.
Well, I don't know if my program ran out of memory or what, but we got a problem. I don't know. We'll have to find out. I don't even see what the error message was.
Oh, and also.
Oh, that's why. There was some blank entries. Okay, that explains a lot. Oh, that's not a good thing.
Yeah. But with an entry, apparently 54 is under investigation for his internet connection. We saw him have that issue, what was it, last night. He had to come into the pit road at Knoxville and drop to the back of the pack due to his internet. And that would be really bad if he gets if he gets a penalty for that and has to drop even further back in this pack. He's already in 6th. He could end up potentially going even a lap down if he got forced to come down pit road. Actually fix that.
I don't know why there was blank entries, but
he might have accidentally hit.
Well, it wouldn't be possible to do that, so I'm not exactly sure what the reason was, but we're going to get that launched back up. Basically, I'm working on a new program here, and there we go. There it is. So I wrote a new program that will take race control data and feed it to us live, and I guess there was just a little bit of an issue. I don't have it yet handling issues with empty cells. So I think what happened was I might have had a cell highlighted, and then when he entered a new one, it jumped it. So we're good. We have the 54 under investigation. We'll see if there's update on that in the meantime. 22 laps in as Lightle continues to lead. Miller still holding on to 3rd, but here comes Finn down the inside.
He's getting pretty tight off in turn 4. Going to give the 42 just enough space. And while these two guys are fighting right in front, it's making 1st and 2nd place drivers break away from the rest of the pack.
42 and 14 side by side for 3rd place, but for the lead, that 95 is trying to build a run, but Matt Gruenberg is not only has he dropped down to 6th, he's actually not even really keeping pace with the drivers in front in terms of lap time. Was about a 10th and a half off of the leader Tate Lightle last time.
I think that's because he knows that he really can't do much here. You can try to make a pass on Frankenfield on the outside, but Frankenfield's definitely not going to let him by. Oh!
Whoa! Big slide for the 42. And this is so tight right now. If somebody makes a mistake, there's not a whole lot of room for error.
Yeah, I'm curious if Gruenberg might be just saving up some stuff here, maybe waiting for the guys ahead of him to wear out their tires enough where he can start battling. There you see Frankenfield to the inside of the 42. Does he take the opportunity now? So look to the high lane, right behind his teammate. No, gonna go look back low.
These cars are stuck together right now. They can't get separated enough at the front. Josh Adams to the inside down in turn 1. Trying to steal that lead away from Tate Lightle, who's led the most laps so far.
And we're going to have to back out of it yet again. Still side by side, though, between the 42 and the 15. Great racing up front this race so far.
Oh, that got a little tight out of turn 4.
Still side by side, still really tight between them. Neither driver giving up an inch.
Side by side down the back straightaway, and Matt Gruenberg is sitting here watching the leaders pull away as he sits behind the 15 and 42, battling for 4th, and Frankenfield clears him and opens the door for Gruenberg.
Yeah, that was probably, I think, the first successful pass we've seen on the inside lane tonight, at least in the front of the field. Now Gruenberg trying to do much of the same with his teammate on the outside. I'm curious if there might be some talk, hey buddy, can you let me on by? Still fighting for it, though. There we see actually Miller and Gilman do the 54. Here we do.
Adams has been hounding the 56, but I like Lightle's demeanor so far. He's been pretty careful, giving the space, hasn't really been pushing the issue. Also, Finney, just so you know, this number will increase to 3, so every successive one, it has a number on it, so you'll know it's not the same one. I'm just informing Finian about my script. That's all. We're just trying to get Finian up to date here. And let's battle for the lead as Adams I mean, if he dives in here and just roughs up the 56, he'd get this spot. But I think he's trying to play fair and square. But how long, if you're Josh Adams, are you going to wear your tires just try to stay on the inside?
I mean, again, I think we're really with the mindset of not really having a whole lot to lose. I think he's just trying to see if that can work, and he's been getting a little bit better, but you lose a lot of time.
And these guys, I'm surprised by this, Finian. These guys are, I know they're championship contenders, but they're fighting so hard here early in the going. I would not be surprised if these two got together and took each other both out of the championship.
That's the best possible scenario for Team Lightle. If they both take each other out, and he's got a very comfortable lead going into Homestead next week, so I think that's what he wants. He's kind of rooting for that.
Justin Kolb was sitting back in 8th, a couple spots back. He'd love for these two to get together just to give him up a better shot for next week as well, because he's right now, as he runs, he's not going to be a competitor at Homestead.
So fighting with it, looks like Gruenberg's been getting a much better roll through the center, and there you see him finally being able to get past Frankenfield.
Oh.
No, can't clear it.
Wow, look at the 42, all sorts of sideways out of turn 2.
He's been really struggling for grip. I think that's probably been the 42's biggest issue, is that he's got some really solid pace, I guess, but I think the consistency has been lacking, and we saw that at Rockingham too. Burning off his tires too early, was really struggling for grip, and we're starting to see the same here at Richmond.
Justin Kolb getting by the 42, so Miller, oh, look at the 15, kind of hip-checking the 26 of Chuck Sweeting. And Sweeting started at 9th, he's climbed up to 6th, and now going for 5th.
Frankfield's actually starting to drop from the back, and I think his tire is also a little bit spent. Sweeting trying to do the same thing that Gruenberg did into the corner. He will go. And gonna barely be able to clear the 15. No, can't
not
quite.
yet. Yeah, the outside lane gives you such a big run.
That's a lot of speed mid-corner there, and Frankenfield back on the outside.
So Gruenberg has gotten by Frankenfield and is now setting a good pace. He was 2/10 quicker than Tate Lightle the last time by. So after that slip-up, it seems like he's got his ducks in a row and is going for the top couple spots again. He's got a bit of some ground to make up, though. 1.7 up to the leaders and about a half a second up to Kevin Finn. Adams has been incredibly patient so far. I just wonder when the sun goes down and the lights come on if that patience will persist.
I have to keep an eye on it, and again, I think he's not going to really do anything too drastic. At least I hope he doesn't, because Lightle, again, he's in a really good spot to uproot this championship with both Frankenfield and Gruenberg having their own issues. He's just been able to take it away from both of them.
You see the win stickers on the B pillar of that 56, 3 wins this season.
Yeah, trying to make that 4 here tonight.
Yeah, it was that Phoenix Raceway earlier in the season, then it was Darlington, and then Rockingham most recently last week. Well, it's about half the wins of the 54 and 15, but they're wins at an important time, I'll say that.
Yeah, again, that's what I was going to say, too, because, for Gruenberg, this is the traditional points championship, just every race to the end. The person with the most points wins. He would have probably won this championship probably a few weeks ago, honestly, with the amount of domination we've seen out of him, maybe just him and Frankenfield. But with the way it's reset, you have to be consistent on a short-term basis in 3 races, and he just hasn't done it so far these first 2 rounds.
So 40 laps complete of 200, expecting pit stops within 20 to 30 laps, I would imagine, and then breaking this race up into, what, thirds maybe?
Yeah, I think let's see how far these guys can actually go. Yeah, if they can go about 66, 67 laps, that will be a 2-stop. If they can't, then it'll be a 3-stopper. We'll have to see how far they can go. I see Adams still looking all over the back of that 56. He's definitely got the pace to lead this race at 95. He just hasn't had the pace past 56.
Yeah, it's the closest battle on the racetrack right now, and it's for the lead. Again, incredible patience by the 95, and incredible defending by the 56, not letting anybody by. And Gruenberg almost had the lead earlier, but he got shuffled out and all that. You saw Adams is getting much better drive off the corner than Tate Lightle. At least when they're nose to tail, once they get side by side, all that drive goes away. See the 56 leaving about a half a lane to the bottom of the racetrack, maybe experimenting when seeing where the grip level is. And 3 and 4, he's leaving a couple feet. Trying to move up the racetrack just to carry just that much more momentum.
And it's amazing, too, the fact that Adams, remember, running the inside lane a lot more, and you see him go back to the inside. Hasn't fallen off from the 56. He stayed right with him this entire run, so it's an interesting thing to note. We'll see if, again, if Adams tries to maybe do an overcut.
Well, he has been able to snag 1 lap away. And they're working by Nick Miller in the number 9. And Miller goes high as Adams sees an opportunity, throttles up mid-corner, but has to back out again.
I'm curious if Adams is going to do an undercut or an overcut here.
What about Kevin Finn and Matt Gruenberg? They're both closing in at about a 10th and a half a lap.
Kevin Finn closing up here for the lead. Didn't think he would have the pace of the leaders. I thought he would be probably running around third or fourth. But has a chance of potentially taking the lead away here if one of these two guys makes a mistake or just do some pit strategy back close.
25% mark approaching in about 4 laps. As the two drivers that have led up at the front for most of the race are about to be challenged by third place Kevin Finn. Let's not forget, is a playoff contender.
How big for that? How big for him would that be if he can try to get a win from these guys again? You can pull up that graphic, the points.
Well, I really wish that worked. I think it updated. It just didn't open the right version. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. You got a whole other monitor over there, Finney. My monitors are pretty crammed full of information.
But, yeah, so he's 3 points in behind Frankenfield, 11 points back from the leader.
Oh, big bobble.
Yeah. So he would need Lightle, Frankenfield, and Gruenberg to run into trouble this week and next week to really get them back inside the point picture. Because again, those guys have been running at the top of the field, those three, in some sort of order.
Oh, look at this. The 95 tried to drive in and take it, but lost so much ground on exit, and he just threw it in there and was hoping it would stick, and it didn't.
I think he's just been trying to dive it in there, force 56 up the track, and then get a better run on exit, but hasn't been able to scare Lightle out of that spot for now.
Yeah, I'm with you on the undercut, though. I think this 95 should try that. As we head through lap number 50, this will be the 25% mark of this race. Top 5 only separated by 1.1 seconds. The accordion is coming back together, and it's the caboose here is Chuck Sweeting in the number 26 machine. He's today.
Yeah, so a lot of the guys have been catching up top 5 within a second of each other. And I'm kind of amazed with it. So it looks like Lightle might be dropping off the pace here. And then we see Adams to the inside, best run he's had all day. And they're both going to be side by side at the line.
Yeah, these guys have been fighting hard. I think if once the 95 gets out front, he's probably free and clear and should be able to drive away, but he has not been able to complete the pass, and Tate Lightle is just denying him any opportunity to have this lead.
But Adams, again, every single attempt he's made after has been more and more successful here. He might take the lead one of these times here, but still Lightle giving a hell of a fight for it.
And again, in that respect, they've been very clean so far. Not a single fender laid on anybody yet. The closest we had to contact was the 54 and 56 early in the race when Gruenberg tried to shove the nose in the hole that was closing very quickly.
Just over the quarter of a way through this race. Lap 53.
So close. He's so close. He's got to get another 2 feet and he's clear. And Kevin Finn is just watching all this from behind, and he doesn't have a dog in the race right now. He just wants to pass both of them.
Yeah, if anything, he might want to try to get up there as soon as he can and maybe find a lane.
Big check by the 95 at the exit at 2. Comes up the racetrack. Tries to fill the gap, but Kevin Finn pushing the issue now for second.
He can have, I think for him, the best thing to do is have these two guys do the work for him. One of them opens up the lane and then tries to pass one or the other.
And Matt Gruenberg is sitting right behind Finn. And look, now we brought a 6th car into the race. That's Nick Miller. Well, he's there, and he's got fresh tires, and we'll see if that makes a big enough difference to kind of split up this field a little bit.
He's actually 3 laps down, so I'm not sure what happened.
He came to pit road. I think that was a big part of it. Here comes Josh Adams, going to throw it down the inside, and he's got it. He's got it for a moment. Side by side as Lightle tries to fight back, but he cannot. And Josh Adams goes to the lead in lap number 56. What a pass.
Oh, yeah, that could be big trouble for Lightle here. Here you see me starting. I think he's really starting to wear out these tires here. You can't even get side by side barely with Kevin Finn. Now going to drop all the way back to 3rd.
Yeah, he had to jump way out of the throttle as the 14 jumped in the hole, and here comes Gruenberg as well. Remember, the 56 was leading the points as he came in.
Yeah, look at the way Lightle backed up that corner there. Got a fantastic exit. It's going to put Gruenberg now in danger of getting passed from Chuck Sweeting. No, it's still back between Lightle and Gruenberg.
And Sweeting's got a massive run here. Which lane is he going to take? The 54, so he'll dive to the inside of the 56.
I think Lytle's definitely used up his stuff now. He's going to be dropping to the back. We might see him try to be one of the first guys to come down pit road here.
They're thinking about the long run. I know you've dropped spots, Finian, but what about the overcut? We've talked about the undercut being successful just to grab a spot, but the overcut, if this race goes green, which it looks like it might, I mean, I wouldn't really put that out of the question either. We've dropped off about 1.5 seconds from where we were at the beginning of the race.
really, dude, I want to mention, shout out to these guys being
Whoa!
ready. Whoa!
Tank slappers for the 26 and for Tate Lightle.
Yeah, it's gonna keep it. And I think it's really showing how far down the 56 tires have gone from the start of this race. He's really been, especially once in traffic and some dirtier.
Robert Hill Jr. in the 6 and Jordan McKeeboy. This is a great battle for 12th.
McKeeboy starting, I think, in the pretty much second to last row.
Started back officially in 15th in that number 21. Robert Hill Jr. started in 13th. He has been remarkably stagnant today. I would have thought this car would have been quicker tonight. He's been performing to a very high level, but this evening has not been one of those nights.
We're going up on that magic number I was saying earlier. If you can make it to around lap 66, 67, you can make it on just 2 more stops. Don't think these guys can make it on 1 stop. I think going to lap 100 is a bit of a stretch.
Frank Sims in the 75 going a lap down here early in his Toyota Camry.
Yeah, only other Toyota in the field other than Tate Lightle.
It's the only feeling. He's got some right front damage on that car as well. And I would reckon he's been in the wall at least once. Gruenberg now putting the pressure back to the 14. He's been a lot more consistent over this whole run than the 56 of Tate Lightle. The Eisen Designs 14 is a hair quicker than the 95 as well. So both these cars closing on Josh Adams. Chuck Sweeting in behind Matt Gruenberg, but Tate Lightle has fallen off quite a bit.
Yeah, he's just starting to slip further and further back again. I think he's just trying to make it maybe to lap 66. We might see him peel off here, or maybe even a little bit later. But I imagine that 56 is going to be one of the first guys to come down pit road because he's just, the more he's staying out there right now, he's losing more and more time to this pack.
Well, as it stands...
Whoa, and he's been really losing.
Oh, he's got some right front damage as well. If you look on the right front fender there is a crinkle. He's been in the fence. So maybe driving a little bit too hard, trying to make up for a loss in traction. And this is a little bit concerning because we've seen how sensitive these cars can be to damage. See the 9 and
Sweeting down a pit road, as well as Gruenberg.
So our pit stops are underway now.
Yeah, so you can make it pretty much. You can make it on 2 more stops, and people.
Yeah, this will be pretty straightforward, is what you're saying. I mean, there's not a whole lot to this. So let's keep an eye. Pit road penalties could be a big deal tonight. Chuck Sweeting's in. Matt Gruenberg is in. Josh Adams from the lead is in.
Yeah, I imagine probably Lytle's also right in behind, following these guys on down. I think we're going to see a whole lot of funny business from a lot of these guys. Kevin Findo's still out there on the track in the lead.
So Matt Gruenberg, last week, it was the pit road penalty that cost him a lot. He'll knock the cone. Caution!
Oh!
This is going to be difficult to find out who it was, just due to the number of cars that are on the pit lane.
I think it was Nick Miller. Nope, it's not. Never mind. Or actually, could have been.
Could have been. He could have reset here. Let's take a look. Oh, yes.
Ooh.
First caution out in the middle of a pit stop sequence, and Kevin Finn just smiled a big smile because a lot of drivers are trapped a lap down. Here's a look at the 9. Whoa, just slid big time. Ooh, that was a nasty impact. Lonely crash. This was not his night. He was already struggling. And pounds the inside. That's all concrete there. And snags the fence again. So the 9 of Nick Miller going to be out here early in Richmond. All right. So, this is a big kerfuffle on the back straightaway as everyone tries to get sorted out.
Trying to find out where they belong in line.
How about the 5 of Sam Close? Well, this is really confusing. I don't know if anybody knows where they're supposed to be right now.
No, but everybody trying to get themselves sorted out before the pit road entry here. And there we go. Looks like we're found some sort of order. Somehow Dave Hunt's in the lead.
Yeah, it's been an interesting...
I don't know how that happened. I guess Kevin Finn came to pit road.
He might have been slowing for pit lane, but even then, I don't know.
Oh, everyone I think just had to go around the pace car.
All right. This is race control.
I have no clue.
iRacing's race control is having a heart attack right now, trying to figure out what's going on. 69 laps into this event, and Dave Hunt currently scored as the leader. We'll let everything cycle out.
Yeah, this is so weird. So it looks like Hunt and Finn are the only ones, well, they're on the lead lap as well as everyone else back to 8th. But if you look at the time, you actually can't see it here. But on our scoring, it's showing that Sims, Miller, Close, Adams, Lightle, and Gruenberg are directly in front of them. You actually see Gruenberg right there in danger of going a lap down to the 53.
So it's been an interesting kerfuffle.
Yeah, so actually, so those guys that just came into the pits, they have to stay out. Otherwise, it could go a lap down as Dave Hunt's leader. Going to be a lot of wave rounds.
All right, so caution out, lap number 68, our first caution of the night. As now everything should cycle out. We'll see how it works, but Kevin Finn should be good to go. Well, you know what this did? This actually might have helped Tate Lightle just because it got him back in front of the 54 somehow.
Yeah, I was going to say, I absolutely have no idea how that...
Well, I think what happened was he pit after the 54,
yeah,
and the 54 didn't have enough time to make it back to Tate Lightle. So this was a very fortuitous caution for the 56 machine.
Damn, you want a fucking source? Fortuitous.
I mean, I don't know. I was proud of that. Why do you always make fun of me when I come up with a cool word? Why you gotta be that way? I mean, it's not a... It's... We have an update right from Race Control, the 9 penalty for causing an incident. There is going to be no action on that, but...
I was going to say, I think he's going to be done for the night.
Yeah,
the damage he has.
Yeah, there's no action just because that his crash was race ending. So that was the penalty for the 9 of Nick Miller. That will be reflected in post-race as a warning, most likely. I have to add a warning field, actually, is what I should do. I haven't added that. Again, we're just trying this race control script. It's actually, I'm quite liking it so far.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What I wouldn't do is don't touch the sheet, because I think what happened is if you highlight a different row and then he updates it, it'll skip the rows that in between. So just don't touch it. No touchy.
That's really weird.
Well, it's just how Forms works, because that way it won't input something over something that you're typing. So.
You see nearly everyone taking a wave around here trying to get back in order. We're only going to have 6 guys on the lead lap. Everyone else a lap down. So we got Dave Hunt, Kevin Finn. Those are the guys that were on the lead lap. Probably we actually might see the caution get extended here because like 4 guys behind the pace car and everyone else trying to get back to the field.
It looks like it's green flag racing out there right now with everyone catching back up to the field.
Yeah, we only got Dave Hunt, Kevin Finn, Josh Adams, Tate Lightle, Matt Gruenberg, and James Miller, the only 6 drivers on the lead lap. This is going to be pretty interesting.
This is going to be very interesting. This field rolls out at turn number 4.
Green.
Going green. Green flag back in the air, and Dave Hunt leads the way, and he'll lead a lap tonight.
And pretty much a single file start in behind him because everyone else, when you get the way around, you don't get double file back up. It's single file.
This is going to be a very confusing start for a couple drivers as we all shuffle back by speed.
Oh, and actually...
Finn down to the inside for the lead.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, these guys are fighting for the lead. Although everyone else, Adams, Lightle, Gruenberg, they're actually behind the lap cars at the tail end of the field.
14 goes on through, passes Dave Hunt for the top spot. Josh Adams is technically scored 3rd, but he's 3 seconds back from the battle for the lead.
And look at all the traffic he's got in front of him, too, to try to even get near the lead again.
James Miller is 6th, and he's behind everybody on the racetrack right now.
This has worked out to be very interesting.
Well, a caution would sort everybody back out how they're supposed to be, but right now, with how things are, you might see it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of don't want a caution because it will be interesting to see how this plays out with the guys trying to work through lap traffic. A little bit of a test.
Chuck Sweeting is currently the driver in the free pass position.
And he's fighting off a lot of drivers. He's fighting off Chad Frankenfield and Johnny Thomas for that spot. It's going to be a very heavily contested spot, especially considering I think the odds of another caution come out are fairly low. We went green for an entire green flag run there.
Yeah, 68 laps we went green. And we've had 8 lead changes from the start of this race, which is quite a bit here at Richmond, especially from what we've seen lately. Justin Kolb crashed in turn 4. Caution out for the 2nd time today.
This may have started with the 52. I'm trying to look at the rest of his car here. Only see nose damage from the that might have kind of pieced together what happened if he got into someone.
Let's take a gander here. There was definitely some contact. Here's a look at the incident. This is between the 52 and the 8.
Yeah, I think the 8 got into him here. Is he going to...
Oh, he drove in, got the 75, braked, and then it was just a chain reaction accident there. And Tate Lightle, wow! And the championship contenders narrowly missing what could have been a race-ending crash.
Yeah, I was curious on how these guys fared through it because this would have happened right in front of them. He did, and they see Lightle and Gruenberg narrowly make it through. I think he's really happy 52 held his brakes.
Right on board Richard Lafferty here. On the nose.
Yeah, I think it really just, like you said, just a chain reaction. Everyone diving to the corner. So even the 75 of Frank Sims there, you see him get a little knocked sideways, 52.
Just couldn't get on the brakes in time. Nothing the 8 car did wrong there, just a check up that he couldn't miss.
Well, I think Adams, Lightle, Gruenberg, and Miller are going to like that because that puts them back up in the front. Also, Chuck Sweden's going to like it because he gets a free pass.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on right now as Josh Adams comes on down Tate Lightle. I mean, they're a lap down. You might as well get yourself some tires and fuel. I mean, it's not going to hurt you at all. Can't take the wave around anyway because some drivers probably are not going to come and hit pit lane. Or maybe they will. So we'll see how this sorts out. How much are tires worth on a run that short? I would reckon probably not a whole lot, but...
Probably not. I think really the track position is going to be more important, especially in the lead, because we saw Lightle was able to keep guys in behind him for quite a while until his tires started to wear out, and then he kind of fell out of it.
So lap number 80 of 200, closing in on the halfway mark of this race. I have not seen an update from race control on that incident down in turn number 3 yet, so I'm going to assume no action there, just an accident. So we only have currently 7 cars on the lead lap. The last one on the lead lap is currently James Miller in the 42, but I think it'll be Chuck Sweeting when everything's sorted out, but we'll see how it cycles.
I was going to say, it should be Chuck Sweeting. He usually gets me well.
Yeah. He's in the pits, getting his free tires and fuel. He rolls back out. So 2 cautions so far, slowing the progress, 80 laps in. And I think what really the only reason why this second caution has happened is because the field's so shaken up from that whole pit stop intermission, we'll say.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of guys, I wouldn't say necessarily where they should be running, but definitely jumble up the order quite a bit. And especially if you're not used to racing around certain drivers that might be braking a lot earlier than you think. You get a stack of effect like exactly what we saw. But lining up for the restart here is going to be...
Yeah, so what this does, the second caution should put all the lead lap cars in front of the lap down cars now. So that'll get rid of all the chaos that we saw. So it'll put Tate Lightle on the outside of row number 2 and Matt Gruenberg on the inside of row number 3.
I think Lightle might enjoy this here. Especially if Finn elects to take the outside lane on the restart. Don't know if he will or not. Might see him just take the traditional inside lane.
See Gruenberg, this is up and down day so far. Started off with a big slide through 1 and 2.
And the big thing, too, for Gruenberg is he's not allowed a lap today. If you can't...
Don't hurt yourself. What are you looking for?
The lead lap. Yeah, he has not led a lap today so far, and that's, again, that's a bonus point that he's not going to be getting.
Are we doing bonus points?
Yeah.
They are doing bonus points. Okay.
I think they're not doing halfway.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But just they are counting laps led. So that's going to be a pretty large deficit when it comes. I mean, it's going to come down to every last point at Homestead next week, and if you don't get that lap led, it's going to be a big issue because he's already 3 back coming into the night from the 56. Now, with the way the 56 is running at the moment, Gruenberg's still going to be pulling a deficit, a 2-point deficit, but you know it's not all death and destruction yet until the end of the race. We'll see how it cycles out. Coming back to the restart, Kevin Finn on the inside, Dave Hunt on the outside, green flag back in the air, lap number 83.
Finn taking the bottom, he's going to restart on the bottom. Great restart for him as well as the 95 of Josh Adams. He's going to try to make a pass on Dave Hunt. This is actually not good for Lightle, who's stuck in behind Dave Hunt.
Yeah, this is going to be, the 42 sideways at the exit of 2, swinging left, right, and spins out. And third caution in quick succession here. I think the frustration level was going to be rising little by little. Let's take a look. This was contact with the 15 of Chad Frankenfield, interestingly enough. And Chad Frankenfield, interestingly, was in the free pass position. So how do you reconcile that? I mean, it doesn't look like it was his fault. I think the 42 kind of chopped him a little bit. But.
Well, I was going to say, if anything, if he got an incident point, which he should have, for making contact with the 42, he's not going to be getting it because he was involved in the incident. So it's probably actually going to go, the free pass is probably going to go to
that would have been Johnny Thomas, but
yeah.
We'll see how that cycles. Yeah, the 42 kind of chopped him a little bit. I can't put that entirely on Frankenfield. Again, everyone trying to be aggressive to gain spots. And
yeah, indeed, it was Johnny Thomas that got the free pass.
Well, that's unfortunate for Frankenfield. Again, I wouldn't really call that a mistake totally on his own, but again, things like this have not been going the 15's way. Remember last week at Rockingham, got stuck a lap down and was fighting to stay on the lead lap at times and just really never recovered that day. And the driver that was probably even better than Matt Gruenberg all season long is hitting some struggles, as we have a penalty for the number 42 for the incident, but there will be no action on the racetrack, so that'll be a post-race warning for 42. And that was, so that penalty was blamed, I guess that was on James Miller for chopping down off the nose. So race control updating us on that situation. That's the third such investigation penalty tonight. Again, the penalty system in this series, essentially, if you cause an accident, they don't directly necessarily take action in the race. It's more of just a warning.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you get two, if you cause two incidents, though, that's really what the first one is. You know, you get a slap on the wrist, don't cause another one.
You know what would have been good is if I added I'll see if I can do this right now. Add a warning field to the...
well, I don't know if Tyler will know.
We can, well, Tyler's probably listening. We can tell him. Hey, Tyler, we're going to add a warning field just for you. Status update. All right, add option. Warning. Okay, Tyler, updated. There you go, buddy. All good. Now you can set that up. That will be an option going forward. All right, so lap 87, closing in on halfway. About 38 minutes of racing left. Kevin Finn, your current leader. He has led 17 laps today. Tate Lightle has led 54. That is a race high so far. Josh Adams up to second. Was leading the race earlier before coming to pit lane, and he was one of the drivers that got burned the most when the first caution flew. And he'll have contenders Gruenberg and Lightle lined up behind him. And Adams was so careful earlier in the race to stay out of the championship contenders' way and not be super aggressive, but he's in front of them now. We'll see if things change in the second half of the race. And Tyler Lightsey is in chat. What? Why are you looking at me like that? You're looking at me like I just had 3 heads.
No, don't worry about it.
All right, well, other than that first little crash incident, the script has been working nicely, so I guess we'll continue using that going forward. Again, new updates to SimTV, and again, 3WideRacing League getting some graphical updates tonight that a bunch of the other leagues have had for a few weeks now, so finally getting them up to date here in their penultimate race of the season. Thought I'd have it nice and pretty for Homestead. Lights have come on, the tempers have flared. It's time to finish out this one. 113 laps to go. Green flag back in the air as the 14 fires off.
A great racer for him, as well as Matt Gruenberg in behind. Now they're going to be side by side with the 95 of Josh Adams.
Whoa, behind! Dave Hunt stacking up the field. The 15 goes way wide in turn 2.
That was a big stack. It looks like they're got it sorted out for now.
Sorted out is probably not the word I would use.
In the midfield, they got it sorted back out. These guys in the front end were back onto the top 5. All scattered, trying to fight for the lead. Here we go. Matt Gruenberg to the inside, Adams to the outside for second.
Gruenberg trying to save his championship season. He was dueling with the 15 all year long. Last race, he had having a speeding penalty, putting him down the order.
Whoa!
The 14 crashing in turn 4.
Oh, Gruenberg also sliding through the grass. No caution, but Gruenberg's now going to jump.
Whoa! Hits the drain. And that could damage the underbody of the race car, Finian.
Whoa, man. What on earth happened there for Kevin Finn? I don't know if Kevin Finn had contact too.
I think he got run into. I don't know. We'll see. Let's take a look. This is on the exit of turn number 4.
Yeah, took from above it again. I think it might be a little bit better here.
Did the 95 get him? Oh, he did.
Oh, yeah.
He did hit him. Sent him up the racetrack. Then the 54 tried to avoid, slipped on the apron, and then goes through the grass. And watch this. I'm more worried about the oil pan on that sort of situation, but he's trying to claw his way back forward, down in 8th place, so Finian, a disastrous incident for the 54 Gruenberg, dropping him down the order and down championship contention as Tate Lightle takes the lead through the whole process and goes back to the top spot.
It's gone from bad to worse for Gruenberg. Not only is he in the back here, his competitor is up in the front again. This has gotten interesting.
I would say interesting is a word I would use. If we're talking about vocabulary tonight. Chuck Sweeting up to 2nd place. How about this night for him?
Yeah.
Started 9th up to 2nd, and again, he was competitive at Rockingham last week. Wasn't able to finish out that race, but right now running very well. Josh Adams slips to 3rd and all that drama. Kevin Finn and Matt Gruenberg, they're side by side, but 54 goes up into 6th.
Able to make the pass, and Gruenberg's going to be a long night ahead of him.
Ooh, I see car spinning. It's the 8 of Richard Lafferty on the front straightaway. I think Robert Hill Jr. may have been involved in this. But for all how calm it was earlier, this is an incident out of turn 4. Here's a look.
Yeah, indeed it was the 6 that was involved in this. Take a look here, and you're going to see
he slid up.
Whoa.
Hit the 52. They get together. The 6 and the 8 spin to the inside lane. They keep going. We stay green. Wow. For how calm this race was earlier. Oh, the 75 spinning in turn 2.
There's a caution.
Oh, man. And all hell is broken loose here at the halfway mark. Wow.
That's exactly what Gruenberg needed to get himself back in the running.
I can't tell how lucky anybody's been so far because it seems to go one way one lap and the next way the next. This is the 21 McEvoy on the inside driving off into turn 1. I think Frank Sims gets loose and just corrects and just bobbles and goes up the hill. We'll go back and so again. Off into turn 1. You see, he turns off in here, and I think maybe he gets, he just...
Yeah, just over-rotates the car.
Yep, and just bobbles it left, right, and spins it around. And thankfully didn't hit anything, but it's been a tough day. 75 is under investigation for failure to hold the brakes, Finian. So, as he slid down the racetrack, that's always a concern when you have... Actually, let's go back and take a look and analyze this just to see if that was the case.
Yeah, I think it would have been, because he pretty much almost came to a dead stop on the outside of the roll down banking stuff. And he'll see it again.
And off into turn 1, just slid, and then he's going to spin out, and does he roll down the racetrack? I think, yeah, right here. Rolls down the racetrack, and I think that's going to be potentially a penalty under investigation for now. All right, up at the front. Pit stops, what do you think? I mean, it's been kind of crazy. And whoa, the 5 as Sam Close pulls off and heads to pit lane. And he was running in 10th. And currently scored on the lead lap.
I was going to say, how on earth did everyone else get back in the lead lap?
75 gets a warning for that incident as well. So, investigation for the rolling down the hill and warning for the spin. This has been very informative tonight. I'm really liking this.
Oh, they're back
they are back a lap down. Okay. All right, so that makes sense. So we have 9 cars in the lead lap. Dave Hunt is the last of those. Justin Kolb is currently the one in the free pass position as they sit on pit lane, but we'll see how it cycles. Chad Frankenfield on pit lane. How about Matt Gruenberg? He's coming down as well. I would think he's got to have some kind of damage to the underbody of this car.
Either that, at least I guess get some fresh tires to get back in to try to get back in the game here. So we'll see. I don't know how much damage he has. I do see that right the rear of his car was a little damaged after he went for impromptu rallycross. You can see right there on the right rear, he got that after coming back down and slamming the ground. So.
Yeah, actually, even the side skirt of that, maybe I can't tell if that's just the fender flare there. He rolls out. That cone has been his way all day. All right. Lining back up for restart as we close in on the halfway mark here. Next time by will be halfway. James Miller leads the race. Started in 3rd, is running quite nicely. Only 2nd lap led this afternoon. I'm liking how Tate Lightle looks, Finney. I know it's been dramatic tonight, but he's been, other than that first long run, he's been really consistent and has been running quite well. Again, it's only as low as 7th today, even after all that drama. So I'm really liking how this 56 car looks. I'm gonna go out on a bold limb and say he's the one that wins next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised from saying that again. Are you saying the race or the championship?
Everything.
Okay.
I think he wins everything next week.
I can't entirely say about Homestead, at least the win. I think he's definitely looking like a shoo-in for the championship here. If Gruenberg can't get back up in the order. He's been pretty much Lightle dominating in the front in comparison to 54. He's ran into bad luck one time or another.
Halfway at Richmond, 33 minutes to go if we stay green. Matt Gruenberg spent a lengthy time on pit lane getting that car repaired. Last time by it was only a 9.7 second stop, so he came down a couple times, I think. For the restart, it'll be the 42 in control. He chooses the outside lane. Thought on that, Finney? I would have thought the inside.
Maybe just keep that 56 to the inside, not give him that lane. But here we go, lining up for the restart here just past halfway. And green flag is back out in the air here at Richmond.
Tate Lightle didn't get a phenomenal restart, but it should be enough to hang on with the 95 who's outside. Chuck Sweeting Oh, the 53 slow in the middle of the racetrack again. This has caused a couple stack-ups on the restarts lately, as Sam closes a run real wide.
I think he's just trying to find a place in line, maybe let some other guys by him, but there you see Lightle now to the inside, trying to hold off the 95 Adams. It's not good for Lightle. He needs to try to get in that outside lane. Can't do much on the inside for now.
He's holding them real tight against the fence. And these two drivers were so clean earlier in the day, but I think as the run goes on, as we get closer to the end of the race, that cleanliness is going to slowly trickle away.
And Lightle, again, he's worried about the bigger picture and is actually going to get clear of Adams on the inside lane, so he's going to try to take the lead back. Frank Sims just a little bit into the wall, and Frank's still trying to sort himself through. Myriad of cautions we had, Frankenfield has been able to get back on the lead lap.
Championship contender Justin Kolb still stuck a lap down as for the lead. Here comes Lightle to the inside. He's got it down in turn number 1.
I don't think Noah's going to be able to oppose this a whole lot. There he lets him on by. Well, doesn't let him on by, but Lytle's going to work his way on by.
Wow!
Ooh,
that 42 is almost in the fence.
There comes Chuck Sweeting also for second place now to the inside of the 42. Sweeting might be also a contender here.
He just clears the 42 one corner exit. Adams does the crossover to get down to the inside of James Miller.
Miller's just not been able to use that outside lane a whole lot.
Adams has been throttling up mid-corner, just trying to beat them through the center.
There's also Johnny Thomas in the 83. He's trying to work his way through. He's running in 5th, trying to take 4th away.
Running over Matt Gruenberg, it's been an up-and-down night for him. Trying to recover after a big slide in what could have been a disastrous moment for the championship. But still time to recover from this and go chase down the 56. If he finishes here and the 56 wins this race, it's going to be a tough race next week at Homestead for Gruenberg to win the championship. It'll basically put the 56 in a position where all he's got to do is finish anywhere near the 54 and he'll be good.
Actually, if we take a look, I want to take a look at Kate Little's laps led count.
65 laps led.
So
we're about 90 to go. I don't really think we're going to see anybody lead any more than Lightle has today. Josh Adams has led only 12. Matt Gruenberg has led 0 still. Miller with
Kevin
4.
Finn was in the lead for a little while.
20 laps. Yeah. So really, Kevin Finn is the only one that can really legitimately lead more. Maybe Josh Adams if he can get the lead back, but I think Lytle's the better car right now.
I think within probably 20 laps time too, Lightle can lead the next 20 laps. I think he'll be able to make it to a point where even if Gruenberg takes the lead and leads the rest of the race, he can't get that back. So Lightle is doing everything he needs to get done, and Gruenberg really been put on the back foot this race. Nice
little sign of adversity to go with all the wins he's had this season. And he passes for 4th. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm like Vince Welch and Rick Allen together in one amazing combination.
That's
2 wrongs make a right, Vinny.
Amazing is not the word I would use for that.
Oh, man.
Definitely a combination.
Johnny Thomas in the 83 running 5th. He is a playoff contender. Last week had a miserable round at Rockingham. Way down the order in the playoffs. I don't think he can really do a whole lot to win the championship, but he's out here still trying to win races and running in 5th right now.
Yeah, he's going to need all hell to break loose for the guys in front of him the next two races. I don't think this is not enough time. There are a few more races left. Thomas could have strung some really good finishes, but yeah, I just think too far back.
It's all about making your bad days a little bit less bad, and right now he's up 6 spots from his starting position. So I'd say, I know it was a little bit chaotic, but running better than Richard Lafferty is JTR teammate, who is outperforming the last couple weeks. I will say one thing, is that this new package might not be the greatest thing ever, but I will tell you that it has brought average speeds up really high.
I mean, the package is really good in iRacing. Real life, not so much. Yeah. But who would have thought when real world physics actually apply?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the best lap has been run by Matt Gruenberg. It was a 19.782. And that was an average speed of 131.173 miles an hour, which is pretty awful fast for Richmond, I'll say that.
I was just saying, I'm curious. I don't know what they were running before this package.
Close, but not quite this fast. 85 to go. Tate Lightle continues to lead and rack up laps led. Chuck Sweeting trying to chase him down in the Mystery Motorsports Chevrolet Camaro. Right on board, we're going to do a SimTV sound surge. Just under 80 laps to go as Josh Adams and Matt Gruenberg fight for third. It's been a fight back from the bottom for the 54. He's had to drive through the field a couple times today and trying to go chase down Tate Lightle, who's leading the laps and driving away with the points lead and potentially setting himself up for an easier championship run next week at Homestead Miami Speedway for the championship. And right now, it's Lightle, Sweeting, Gruenberg, and Adams right now. The fastest car in the top 5 is the 56 of Tate Lightle.
Looks like Gruenberg's going to take the spot away. Adams trying to fight back, but I don't think he's going to have enough to take it away from the 54, at least for now.
Johnny Thomas is here, running pretty decent lap times.
Potentially also get past the 95 as well. Thomas looking like he's got a pretty strong car, at least. Definitely a top 5 car.
Picked up. I mean, again, this last week didn't go well for him. The start of this race didn't go that well for him, but he's got this JTR Chevrolet pointed in the right direction and climbing up the order now. Kevin Finn down in 7th. This night was going a lot better for him earlier this evening until he got booted out of the way by the 95. Maybe some hard feelings there.
And also, too, to what you were saying earlier, I did look up qualifying for the 2018 Richmond race. They're running 22-second laps, so
they're 2 seconds faster now.
Yeah. And this is also just in race scriptures. You probably got a decent setup of even more of a gap.
Kevin Finn had a moment there, but so did the 42 of James Miller. Here's a look at his turn 2 exit. Watch this. Woo! Big bobble.
Really dramatic for the 42.
Back up at the front. Sweeting has been kind of matching Lightle's pace the last few laps. They've been trading back and forth. It's only 0.3 of a second between the two. And he's been running up front. He's been competitive. He just hasn't been able to finish out races. But right now, sitting just behind Lightle with a chance to win.
And I don't think Lightle's going to let this go too easily because remember I said there were bonus points lead on the line. You get 3 bonus points for winning the race. So that's a lot of points going to the 56, and that's why he actually has a 3-second lead coming into tonight after winning last week. So I think Lightle's only going to fight for this, especially considering Sweeting is a non-championship driver, and he's going to try to keep him in mind.
It's clear to me that the 56 is the best car in this field, and he's got to capitalize on this. If you have the best car, you cannot afford to not win the race. In a championship like this, if you have the best car and don't win, like Matt Gruenberg has had several times this season, you're going to put yourself in a position next week at Homestead where you have to outperform your ability, and that's not necessarily going to be a situation anybody wants to be in. James Miller hits pit lane here. He's going to be closing in on some, just setting himself up for the end of the race, pitting with 70 to go.
All right, so he's planning on running it out to the end here.
Leader shoot on by. That was a fast camera pan there.
I'm curious when these guys are going to come down. If they're going to try to run out the tank, or they're just going to go maybe to halfway. Maybe get restart at around lap 100. So, say, come in on lap 50, run 50-50 equal stints. Or if these guys will go all the way to lap 65, 70 on the run. I'm
really liking how this 26 car looks right now. He's closing in. He's a little bit stuck in arrow watch right now, but he's been strong all night long. He's only climbed up the field. He has not even dropped down the order any. He's just done nothing but climb from a starting spot back in 9th place. And I'm just really liking the stability that he's got. He has not really slipped around a lot. He's not overdriven the car. And he's sitting right in the catbird seat if the 56 makes a mistake, or if the 56 pits a little bit later. Maybe the 26 tries the undercut just to take the lead away.
This sort of strategy can be a big factor too. And some of these guys, you might see them potentially stay out here. Just in case the caution does come out late in the race, they can take advantage of that. Oh, Sweeting in the wall. He's going to miss the corner.
Scrape the fence just a little bit, and here comes James Miller on fresh tires up through the leaders. The 56 pulls over to the left, and I'm going to imagine Lightle's going to hit pit lane right here. And if you're the 26, are you going to come with him? No, he didn't hit pit lane. He just let the 42 on by on the outside, so he had the lane he wanted. All the while, Gruenberg, at least the last few laps, has not really been he's been about 2 seconds back for the last few laps. The last time by, he was 0.2 quicker, but not really closing as much as he should be if he wants to go beat the 56.
Yeah, I'm curious to see this time by too, because that last lap will kind of Lightle letting 42 on by. Actually, yeah, this time by Lightle was faster. Gruenberg was slower by a few hundredths of a second. So, yeah, he hasn't been really bringing that gap back down, but also hasn't been letting it expand.
Sweeting is putting the pressure on Lightle, but Lightle's been handling this position all day long, early in the race with the 54, then with the 95. He has not made a mistake yet that I would consider large, And I'm really liking the 56. I like his demeanor. I like how confident he's been in the lead, and he's not willing to just roll over and let people by. I mean, again, Chuck is not in the playoffs. There's no reason why Tate Lightle needs to win this race. I mean, he needs to finish better than 54 to have a better shot next week at Homestead, but he doesn't need to win the race. But he's fighting out there. He's not backing down, and I like that attitude.
It's just amazing because definitely both you and me both thought that this case was going to be, or the playoff was going to be between the Frankenfield and Gruenberg show.
I am shocked by how Chad Frankfield's been running lately. I'm not sure what's up, but last week and this week, just been a 5th, 6th, 7th place car, and he won. Coming into the playoffs, he had won the most races of anybody. So this has just been a fall from grace for the 15, and I'm a bit worried next week for Homestead.
We had a really good run during the summer, but then it started to fall off around when the playoffs started. And even then, too, I think got him.
He runs in 6th place right now.
He won the opening race at Atlanta in the chase, but yeah, ever since then has not really had the same success.
The highest he's run tonight is 4th place. Now, that's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but it's bad for Chad Frankenfield. I mean, he's always a competitor in anything he climbs into, so to only get up to 4th place is really frightening for his championship hopes. 60 laps to go at the front of the field. Lightle still leads the way, and he's closing in. I think he's actually nearing, locking everyone out. Oh, he definitely has locked everybody out of leading the most laps tonight.
So he definitely nailed that bonus point down. And again, going to get even another one too, because, or get one more leg up over Gruenberg, because Gruenberg hasn't been in the lead at all this race so far. Which is really hard to believe. He got really close at the beginning of the race.
I don't know if it's... The 56 has certainly improved his performance the last few weeks, but the 54 and 15 have also kind of dropped the ball a little bit.
It's kind of amazing. I know we keep railing on him about it.
But they were running so good the whole season. I mean, it sounds like we're railing on him. We don't have a horse in the race. We're unbiased as they come, but like... when you win 5-6 races in the regular season, you get to the playoffs and you don't perform, that's confusing, and I'm not really sure if I still understand why that's the case. Maybe it's the number of tracks, or the types of tracks they visited, but I thought all the tracks in the playoffs, especially this one and last week, I thought that was the 54 and 15. They should have won all those races and how they were running over the season. So Lightle stepped up in the 54 and 15. I wouldn't say have struggled, but they've certainly not been on their pace as of recently. All right, 55 laps to go the next time by, and we're closing the last 20 minutes of this race. So a couple drivers still have to, actually most of the drivers still need to pit. James Miller is done pitting for the day. What are your thoughts? I kind of like that strategy by the 42. You're not in playoff contention. Throw something at the wall and hope it sticks.
Only problem, though, that's really going to be banking on longer consistency, which I don't think the 42 has. We saw him slipping and sliding in that first stint before we got to the green flag stops, and that was only about a 60-lap run, 65-lap run. This time he's going to have to go 70 laps. So if he can save the tires, I don't think he's got a shot, but he's going to have to save a little bit of tire wear over the course of the run. I think a good amount of guys might start to come down here.
Chuck Sweeting, Johnny Thomas hit pit lane.
Yeah, but as they say that, here they come on down.
And as has, well, a couple other drivers probably thinking about it. Look at Matt Gruenberg. Look at how much he's closed on Josh Adams. Actually, Josh Adams has gotten by 54, I believe.
Yeah?
Yes. Are you asking me or are you telling me?
No, I was just saying.
You look at me like you didn't know what was going on. I don't know what's going on either. I'm confused.
Yeah, the way you're saying that, the way I was saying that, I was just surprised that he was able to get up by. I thought he was going to stay in behind 54, but just not be able to pass him. But yeah, so Gruenberg going to drop down in behind the 95. It's going to put him back, I think, in 4th once Soul cycles out.
Rich Bickle story on the side of the 5, as it's been most of the season. I don't know. There was something about this I was supposed to know, but Google it. Google it and buy it. That's all I can say. You think they'll sponsor us now? Tate Lightle continues to lead. Maybe an overcut strategy here. I mean, I don't know. Miller was too far back for the undercut to work, but I like Chuck Sweeting's call here as 54 hits pit lane.
I think Gruenberg. I think Lightle is trying to make it as even as possible, so he has has to run the least amount of laps on these tires. Because we saw him; he was struggling towards the end of the run. Here, he finally comes down on pit lane.
Glowing in that race car as he came down to pit lane.
Yeah, so coming on the nose at lap 150.
He has led 107 of the 150 laps tonight, but it hasn't been for lack of competition. We've had 13 lead changes. this evening, along with 4 cautions for 18 laps. Gruenberg is on pit lane and should be leaving here shortly, and there he goes, just scraping by the pace car. And pit stop time of 14.2, not too bad. He'll gain a little bit of ground, but Chad Frankenfield stays out front. Maybe just hoping for a yellow. I mean, he's got to kind of bank on that. He's not going to win the race doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I was going to say, honestly, that's really the best thing to go for. You can run out again for another
15 laps or so.
No, even longer than that. You can go to
at least.
Yeah, I think you can. Oh, actually, yeah, for him, yeah, sorry. So, yeah, I think he's just trying to hope. That's really the best he can hope for at this point.
Important thing he just did right there. Take a look at this. Led laps. Bonus point.
Yeah, so at least he'll get some bonus points for that. Again, it's really just all about getting himself back in the picture for this race. Even if he doesn't win, I mean, maybe if he can try to get at least some sort of leg up over Lightle and Gruenberg.
Hoping for a yellow, hoping someone makes a mistake. James Miller tried the undercut strategy. He was able to get ahead of Tate Lightle, but not able to get ahead of Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting, however, is way ahead of Lightle. So did Tate have a mistake on pit lane? No, just not a great pit stop of 14.6 for the 56 car.
Yeah, and also consider the fact that they stayed out there for, I think, almost 3 laps more. So it's about almost a second a lap.
Yeah, it was a, what's that, minus 5 lap difference between Sweeting and Lightle. So that's gonna be a significant amount.
Yeah, these guys have been falling off about a second from where they've been running at by the end of the run. So it's about 5 seconds the gap. It puts him right, pretty much right where he is running right now.
Frankenfield continues to lead. He's got to pray for a yellow. Dave Hunt runs in second. This has been an up and down night for him. A good night at times, though.
Yeah, the strategy's been playing out for him quite a bit. Just hasn't really had the pace to match it, unfortunately. But he's running in second. If he gets a caution here, kind of like we saw the last time through the green flag cycle, he should be able to get in the front here.
And Kevin Finn, again, playoff contender, maybe not the championship favorite, but he had flashes of greatness tonight. Wasn't really able to stick around at the front of the field for too long. The incumbents up at the top of the board have reclaimed that, but still a strong effort tonight, and regardless of what happens in the championship, it's been a good season for Kevin Finn. You just think back to early in the season where the 56 got his first win at Phoenix Raceway. There was contact between those two. But Chuck Sweeting should cycle out to be the leader. The question is, can he hold off the drivers that came to pit road later? It's going to be a tall order with over 40 to go right now.
Yeah, makes his way past the 15. Frankenfield to put Sweeting back on the lead lap.
And there is the 6 of Robert Hill Jr. again. I talked about this earlier in the night. Robert Hill Jr. has run spectacularly in that race car, but the last 2 weeks have not been very good. And I'm not sure what the difference was. Not sure if he's just not a short track guy, but again, he ran amazingly at the previous races. He filled in for Levi Zielinski, so I'm not really sure what's up. But he's got some of that Zielinski luck lately.
Yeah, I don't think he has really the pace to match on the short tracks, or maybe just these tracks in particular. It's not been good. So hopefully he can get back on it at Homestead and see pretty much the way he's been running. And again, hopefully he does get a full-time ride for next season, because it definitely has quite a bit of pace.
Chuck Sweeting sits third, waiting to inherit the lead. The 56 disappeared off the timing and scoring for a second. I freaked out. Matt Gruenberg right behind. There's James Miller and Johnny Thomas. This is for position for 6th.
Miller again with the oldest tires out of anyone there, so he's just going to be continually passed by everyone, I think. He's just kind of hanging on by a thread, so he's going to move back into 7th, Thomas up into 6th.
Yeah, he threw a Hail Mary and it didn't quite work. Tate Lightle 3.4 seconds behind Chuck Sweeting. Ooh, real close to the wall out of turn 4.
Got the damage he has. He got that pretty early on in the race before we had those green flag stops for the first time.
Yeah, Justin Kolb in the 52 got some damage on the nose of that car. It's been a frustrating night for him. Coming into the night was 3rd in the points. I think he's not going to be there when we leave this racetrack this evening.
I'll look at the quarter panels. He has the new Nintendo 3DS XL. That came out a while back. He stumped me, but...
Whoa, big slide on a turn 2. You know who would have loved that was Frankenfield, but he didn't lose it. And I bet the 15's heart rate jumped up about 100 beats per minute when he saw that car sideways.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to have to come down, I think, the next 5 or so laps.
Yeah, and Dave Hunt as well. If a caution came out, that would totally turn this thing on its head. There's 42 on the inside.
12 seconds back to Dave Hunt and then 14 seconds back to Chuck Sweeting. Just kind of open for a caution to come out. Hoping that someone's arm is it.
Lightle down to 3.1 back from Sweeting. This is the gap we're following right now, is the 26 and the 56. Here's a look at Chuck Sweeting. We'll go to the turn 1 camera as he goes by. There's Chuck. There's Tate. It's a big gap, but some lap traffic that Sweeting has to deal with as well.
This will be interesting to see too if Lightle can mount a charge here with the fresh tires that he has. He can not a whole lot, but he has fresh tires in the 26. He can get back up there. I'm curious if he'll be able to even pass him.
Closing in on 30 laps to go. And Sweeting to the inside of Dave Hunt. This is for position. Remember, Dave Hunt still has to pit, so he'll be at least a lap or two down by the time he goes to pit lane. And it's a 12.8 second gap as Hunt hits pit lane in the 53. And we should be expecting the 15 to come soon.
I think he's going to run this tank out as much as he can. Not sure how much longer he can be out there, but it's definitely going to be. He's going to be running on fumes at some point.
He's praying because now he's made his bet. He has to lay in it now. And this might take him out of contention next week at Homestead. It'll have to be a must-win and also some luck for him to win the championship.
I would argue that he was pretty much already in this position.
I would agree with you. With the way that Gruenberg and Lightle have been running, they're, 5th and 6th ain't gonna do it as he gets sideways and spins on the back straightaway. Caution out with 30 laps to go.
Well,
a blessing and a curse.
I mean, you got the caution.
Wow.
So fortunately it was a caution, but I mean,
that's
still
a golden horseshoe if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. And this was the 5, a close.
Yeah, I think this is really just due to the speed difference between these guys. Remember, Frankenfield's on really old tires at this point.
And coming on in, the 5's going to shoot for the gap and just goes for the gap. And honestly, for Frankenfield, I'm not speculating. I'm just saying there's no reason why he would have wanted to save that race car. So he spins out and he will hit pit lane and he'll probably drag a whole bunch of cars with him. And things will work out. Josh Adams in the 95 is disconnected. We were just alerted to that. Oh. I don't know why.
He disconnected 16 laps ago, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't see him crash. So I would guess he's had connectivity issues in the past.
Yeah, I kind of was wondering where he was. I thought he just ended up somewhere in the middle of the order.
Sometimes people just kind of slip under the radar like that,
So unfortunately, that's unfortunate because he was definitely in front runner in this race, but everyone else coming in the pit road. Frankenfield given a blessing though.
Yeah, Josh Adams again, currently scored in 16th place. It was a good race for him. Ended up leading 12 laps, but disconnected for unknown reasons. He'll, as he stands, be in 16th for the rest of the night. All right, let's check in on where everybody is after the pit stops. Frankenfield leads, and this is how you save yourself, Finian, in a championship situation. Again, he's still got work to do next week, but what he can do is basically close that gap on Lightle and put himself in a situation where he's only got to beat him by a couple spots next week instead of by half the field.
Yeah, remember, if you guys pull points graphic again, I hope it's on the right page.
I hope so too. Hey!
Nice.
Okay, so he was back 8, actually no, that was 14, 17 points, because this is back to the next driver. So 17 points back from the lead from Tate Lightle. I mean, it's still going to be a tough mountain to climb. Is that right, or am I reading the right thing?
Not right.
Or is he 8 points back total?
Maybe 8 points back
total. Oh, so it was the right column. Okay. So if again, 8 points. Okay,
I was gonna say that would be amazing if he fell back 7.
I didn't realize that was. I thought I had the wrong column, and okay, but it works. Yeah. So 8 points back is Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah. So Lytle's only secured most lap slot. Lytle's gonna get 1 point there, so it expands to 9. They both let a lap, so that cancel each other out. If Frankenfield wins this race, regardless, he's gonna get 3 extra points. So that brings that gap down to 5. And then by however many points he finishes ahead of Lightle, it'll be even less than lap. So it's going to be big for Frankenfield. He can hold the lead here.
Sam Close has been given a warning for the incident between him and Chad Frankenfield. And this is our 6th incident-related warning or penalty tonight. So it's been a busy night for the race control. But Sam Close, again, no action on that, just a warning for the contact. All right, well, it'll be about a 25-lap run to the end. Your predictions, I still think that this 56 is the best car tonight. I mean, looking at the stats, I'm liking my 56, dude. What's your call?
No, I'm liking him too, especially on these shorter runs. He's definitely got more short-run pace than long-run pace. God damn it. But yeah, he's going to be starting on the inside lane on Chuck Sweeten. We've seen he's been able to make that inside lane work on these restarts. When these guys are still getting up to speed, so might be able to get on by Chuck Sweeting. Let's see actually which lane Frankenfield picks. And it's going to be the inside lane, so...
Yeah, that puts a 56 in solid contention. But remember, Chuck Sweeting was a little bit faster than Tate Lightle before the pit stop sequence, so don't count him out. And of course, Matt Gruenberg starting right behind him. The championship contenders, the 56, 54, 15, all at the front together. The top three in the points, three of them are... Actually, all three of them are in the top four right now, the front two rows. 25 laps to go.
SpongeBob in the
oh my goodness. Chad's been very active tonight. Green flag back in the air, and Chad Frankenfield tries to save his playoff effort.
Not the best of starts for Chad.
Tate Lightle did not get a very good start at all, and that's going to give Sweeting a great opportunity to steal second place away.
But he gets a great run through the corner, though, to the inside of Chuck Sweeting. Still going to be side by side. He's going to dive into the corner here.
It's going to be hard to get this spot away. He might have to let the 26 get by him and then try to pass him again. Look at the run off the corner he gets.
I was going to say, he might be able to make this work here. He's got a nose ahead of the 26 down into turn 1. Might be able to clear him by corner exit. We see
so
that outside
close.
Be really good
He's
at
got
1 2, and he's got the spot. How about that?
Tate Lightle up to P2, right behind Frankenfield. Sweeting falls to third, and Gruenberg to the inside in turn 4.
And Sweeting cuts him off there, slams the door shut. And I told you, Lytle's been able to make that inside lane work. He did it yet again.
Whoa, no, the 14! Crash it! Oh!
Oh,
no.
Man!
Oh, that was not one of iRacing's best moments, I'll just say that.
Jesus, physics.
Well,
hello.
we thought the whole NASCAR heat thing was bad. That was not a whole lot better.
I don't think anything compared to that. That was...
Man. Well, let's watch this in slow motion because we're going to need to. Contact between the 14 and 42.
Yeah,
that was aggressive, and then 14's going to hit the wall. And
someone should.
Robert Hill Jr. got a piece of it, unfortunately.
Someone should submit this to the iRacing. Not them. Looks like they actually both kind of meander into each other.
I'm sorry, but that's just not good.
Physics. Johnny XC has stopped working.
Yeah. I haven't seen.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
He hit that wall a ton.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so,
I enjoy having a good laugh at iRacing's sometimes.
From one of the other angles from up above, it looked like the 14 kind of meandered off the wall a little bit into the 42. They both kind of just met and made contact, so I think that might not be ruled in anyone's favor.
Yeah, so let's take a look at Robert Hill Jr. because I think he got a big piece of that on the front bumper. And, you know what? He might have been able to magic his way through that.
I'll be surprised if he did get damaged, because usually by that point when someone starts flipping...
What's it, like Magic the Gathering, or what's that thing called?
It's the card game.
Whatever.
I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
This has gone off the rails, Finny. I don't know what's going on anymore.
I played Magic the Gathering. It was on Xbox, so it was free.
Man.
It was free. I was like,
we always start these 3-wide broadcasts so professional, and by the end we always devolve into like, he hit that wall a ton. Leaders on... Well,
no, not the leaders.
It's like
Richard Hines was on pit road.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be better from here on out. 20 to go. Chad Frankenfield holds the lead. Tate Lightle on the outside of the front row. Matt Gruenberg going to be on the inside. What are your thoughts on this now? We got our 3 championship contenders in the top 3.
Yeah, this is gonna be very interesting here. Gruenberg could finally, I wouldn't say redeem himself, but try to get himself back up in the points. Because definitely is looking at a deficit right now the way he's running. Again, still has yet to lead a lap. You can definitely try to get that here. This is the best opportunity he's had all night long.
13 lead changes still at the front of the field. 6 cautions for 26 laps so far tonight. Less than 20 laps to go. Our 3 championship contenders in the top 3 spots. End of the night for the 14. And Robert Hill Jr., I don't know how much damage he had, if any, but...
Yeah, I think that car is fine.
It shouldn't be. It should be missing about from the hood up. Should just be sheared off.
Right now, yeah, with the way he hit the car.
We should find the roof number in the grandstands right now, I think, is after all that carnage. No update from race control on that situation. I imagine just considered an accident there, so we'll update you if we get said notification. So, pick a favorite again, Finney, and we're going to see how this lines up again. I still have Tate Lightle.
I'm just curious, really, what lane Frankenfield's going to pick.
So why pick one over the other? I mean, the bottom will give you a better launch. The outside will give you a better chance of hanging on to the lead.
I was going to say, well, yeah, you get that better launch on the inside, but if you get a better launch, Matt Gruenberg's going to be right behind you. He's going to get a good launch as well. Don't think he's going to want that. You can try to put Lightle to the inside, but Lytle's been able to rock that inside lane, and actually it looks like he's going to pick the top regardless. So he's going to keep the 42 James Miller behind him, and I guess hope that Lightle will get stuck side by side with him, but I don't think it's going to work out well.
17 laps to go will be the restart for the penultimate race of the 2019 3WideRacing League RaceKings Cup Series. It's Chad Frankenfield, Tate Lightle, Matt Gruenberg, your top three. They came into the night separated by only 8 points between them.
Oh, Eric Mickey's alive. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, that man
I haven't heard from
has
Eric in
dropped off the face of the planet, and it's good to see you back, Eric.
I haven't heard from him in a really long time.
15 on the outside lane. Lane choice important. Does it win in the race? A great launch on the restart, and he fires off.
Yeah, but we definitely expected that. Lightle was not even going to have any contention from the outside lane. Gruenberg was going to have a look.
Down to the inside for turn number one. Side by side for second. Chuck Sweeting gets swallowed up on the 42 and 83. Lightle through to P2.
Tate Lytle's able to maintain second place. Gruenberg's got his teammate on the outside. Imagine Miller's going to back off and slide in.
He will. Now the battle for the top two drivers. Tate Lightle came in leading the points.
Again, doesn't have to necessarily force the issue here, but I mean, if he can wrestle the lead away from Frankenfield, I mean, you might as well do it. I definitely think Lytle's got the faster car.
42 and the 14, that incident is under investigation, but netcode involved in that collision, so there will be no action on that. But for the top two drivers, Lightle came in leading the points by 3 over the 54. He came in 8 points over the 15. Frankenfield trying to scrape back anything he can get before Homestead next week. He rides in first right now after a late race strategy call paid off when he himself spun out of turn 2. Everything has flipped around and given the 15 the chance to win a race and put him in the Homestead race, closing that gap on the points leaders.
Yeah, Frankenfield really, to keep his hopes alive, he needs to win this race. If he finishes behind behind Lightle, or even Gruenberg for that matter, I think he's going to be taken out of contention for the championship. So he needs to keep this lead. I'm curious what he's going to do to try to keep it.
13 laps to go. Tate Lightle trying to get back by. He's led over 100 laps tonight. Does he use the bumper on the back of the 15?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did. There's a lot riding on this. Gotta be careful here, though. If he does try to get physical with the 15, he's got the 54 right behind him to take advantage if things go wrong. So
this is getting tense here. With only one race left in the season, the championship is going to come down to the wire at Homestead next week. Frankenfield leads the way. Lightle takes a look to the inside. Frankenfield covers the bases.
Whoa.
There's the bumper for the lead.
Bump in the mid-corner there. Frankenfield slowing way up, but not giving a lane to that 56.
And here comes Gruenberg. Look at him trying to stick the nose up the inside of the 56 car. Whoa, big slide for Frankenfield.
There you see Frankenfield go defensive to the inside. He's going to give the lane to the outside of the 56 as Lightle go to the outside, though.
It's tempting. He's going to get the fender there. Not quite out of turn 2.
Oh, and a big block on the 15. There goes Lightle to the inside. Big time!
Slide up the racetrack. Side by side for the lead. Lightle and Frankenfield. He spins out of turn 4. The 54 is collected. And caution is out with 10 to go.
Whoa.
And Gruenberg slides across the racetrack. Wow.
Oh, man.
Everything just changed. I mean, I can't believe what I just watched.
I can't either.
I mean, that was... Lightle threw it up the inside, the 15 covered and blocked. And then they get together and a slide up the racetrack. The 15 has come to a stop to let the pace car on by. And 15 hits pit lane. Decisions. I'm... Okay, I don't know. Oh, here comes Tate Lightle. Oh, man, this is getting really backwards. While this is going on, let's go back and show you the replay of the incident, because we certainly need to digest what happened as well. Here's a look. 56 went underneath, and then out of turn 4, just tried to gas it. There was no contact there. He just spun out. The 54 gets kind of collected up in this, and ended up. I don't know if he got. He did get in the wall here.
He got in the wall, and that was after. So there you see the spin. Nowhere for him to really go. He just kind of gets involved into this.
He just gets tagged and sent right back across the race. Ooh, he tagged Kolb as well. Wow. Dramatic moment here. Let's right on board with the 54 as he watched all this. The 15 threw a huge block. I mean, and you know, you can block, but it's a self-policing penalty there. But the 56 just tried to get there and he couldn't.
56 made a pretty good move too, but yeah, just got loose on exit, trying to push it. Made the move on entry though. Got to give him props for that.
Right on board with the 56 to take Lightle out of right here. He's gonna swing to the left, and that's a block for me.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a block. I don't think Frankenfield would argue that.
Nope. And that's all fine and dandy. They were good here. I think 56 just throttles up. Nobody's fault but his own here.
It's a mistake. And then try to get it straightened out. Unfortunately, clip the 54.
I'm worried about the 54's damage. He's going to stay out. He obviously thinks it's okay.
I'm just curious on why on earth... well, I guess I can understand Lightle coming in, because I think he would have probably been in the back anyway. So I guess he figured might as well come get some tires. But for Frankenfield, I'm flabbergasted by that. I have absolutely no words why he would come down a pit road, because he just gave this over to Matt Gruenberg.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but maybe, I mean, most of this stint has been under yellow. I don't know why you would give away the lead like that. It's given Matt Gruenberg the chance to win the race, and he would walk in, as it stands, he'd walk into Homestead as the points leader.
If the tire wear was more, if there were maybe 30, 40, 50 laps into a run, I would say, okay, maybe I could see that, you know, with the tires being that far off. But I mean, it's only 15 laps. I don't think it's going to be enough here with the little run we got left.
Look who's here.
Yeah.
Truck Sweeting.
Through the smoke. Sweeting could try to take Gruenberg out of the win here.
15 and 56 incident is under investigation right now.
I think if anything, it'll just be a warning, I guess, for Lightle, because he was the one that spun out, but I don't think they're going to do anything else to him. It was just a mistake on his part.
Yep, I don't think that'll get called, but it is currently under investigation. So 15 and 56 for, again, block's fair game. It's just a matter of if you're going to get moved. And, you know, Tate Lightle, in all honesty, he tried hard to stay off the 15, and he did.
Yeah, he did everything he could. Just unfortunately, car got loose underneath him. First real mistake, other than getting to the wall, first mistake you see him do all night long. Unfortunately, right where it mattered. He'll be a little bit back, but here, but he still got a good car underneath him. He's just got to hope, though, that the 54 does not win the race.
Yeah, Matt Gruenberg has put himself in position to steal this one. Has been up in front competitive tonight, but has made a few mistakes this evening. But with the 15 and 56 tangling in turn 3 and 4, it's put Gruenberg into position to walk away out of Richmond with a points lead and a chance to win the championship next week at Homestead.
Yeah, I think if anything, Lightle's going to be a Chuck Sweeting fan and hope that maybe the 26 can take the win away from the 54 from home. But here we go, 4 laps to go on the restart.
4 laps to go. Gruenberg in control, holding the restart, green flag in the air, big check up through the middle of the field.
Yeah, they're 3 wide in the background, but for the lead, it's Gruenberg up in the front, Sweeting to the inside of the 42. Miller going to try to be rear gunner here.
He played that perfectly, did Gruenberg. He got a great launch through the middle of turns 1 and 2. Chuck Sweeting got alongside James Miller off into turn 3 and 4. If Chuck Sweeting wants any chance, he's got to clear him, and he will out of turn 4.
Here comes Tate Lightle. He's got fresher tires in behind. He's going to have a look at the inside of the 26. I don't think Chuck can really defend for much longer.
Coming back to 2 laps to go. Lightle on the move with fresh tires. He's got an advantage. Is it enough to catch 0.6 of a second in 2 laps, Finian? It might be.
It might be. He's going to have to throw a Hail Mary. Here we go. 2 laps to go.
1.5 miles between Lightle and another victory if he can just get by one more car. It's Matt Gruenberg out front, who's... Oh! Wow, they're driving hard.
He's definitely pushing it here. You can't throw it away, though. He's in second place. That's still good.
He's going to be there. He will get there. Final lap. Lytle on fresher tires, closing in on Matt Gruenberg. The race to Homestead is going to be between one of these 2 drivers. Can Lightle use the bumper and move Gruenberg?
There he goes. He's got definitely got better exit than the 54 that time. Can he make a move here?
Here he comes! Oh! He moves him! He's going to slide to the inside. Gruenberg crashes in turn 4. He'll spin and collect the 15.
Oh!
Drama as Tate Lightle comes on through a massive crash at the start-finish line. And the 52 is up and over, upside down, and that is almost certainly going to be a dramatic way to end this race. Wow.
Wow, yeah, wow indeed.
I don't think there was any question if the 56 was going to take the bumper to him, but he certainly used it, I'll say that. And I don't think that'll be super popular.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he's just made 2 enemies.
Tate Lightle, 4th win of the season. I'm just waiting on Race Control to give me an update on that. I don't know.
Yeah, that.
Oh, man. Your unofficial results scrolling across the top of your screen. Lightle celebrating in a dramatic last lap pass on fresher tires. I mean, I think he would have been able to get there and make the move, even without moving him that much.
Yeah.
But, again, this is going to create an incredible amount of drama heading into Homestead next week. You know, these guys have played nice for a long time. I don't know if the court of public opinion is going to let the 56 get away with this one.
Yeah, well, it doesn't even really matter, I guess, the court of public opinion. It matters what the court of admins is going to rule on this, and they're going to let it stand. I don't
to
think
be honest,
they're going to do anything.
I'd be surprised if they did, because I don't think we really set a precedent of penalizing on the last lap for that kind of move. Well, let's go back and look at it and take a look at it from a different circumstance here. Here is a look at the replay. He just went and then sent it, Finney. I don't know. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can say to defend the 56 in that situation. Yeah. He never even lifted. He just drove straight in. But, you know, don't hate the player, hate the game, Finney. I mean, the importance of wins. Gotta feel for Gruenberg there just a little bit as he spins out of 4. He's going to collect Frankenfield.
He would have been, I guess, more or less fine if he was able to finish in 2nd, but came across the line. You see, the past by nearly everyone on the lead lap came across the line in 8th. Frankenfield came across the line in 7th.
Yeah, so here's a look at your unofficial results again. We got a nice Mission 22 logo there. The Fuels Cup Series sponsor, you should check out their mission at mission22.com. But in the meantime, we'll take a look at your unofficial results. Well, as it stands, the 56 will be your points leader heading into Homestead next week. The 15 and 54 come home 7th and 8th. Justin Kolb finished 5th through all that. So, I mean, there's a possibility that the 52 might be ahead of the 15 and 54 after all this tonight. All right. So, there will be no call on this, is what I'm understanding. So, I mean, we're gonna go jump to break. We're gonna take a breath. We're gonna be back here in just a moment to talk to your drivers. We'll stay with us. Welcome back live to SimTV, here now with the driver of the number 42, James Miller. James, a wild ending out there tonight. You started back up in 3rd and you finished in 2nd. You got to be pretty happy with your night overall, but just walk us through that final restart and all the chaos surrounding that finish.
Well, yeah, really happy about that. Kind kind of didn't have the long run we wanted. Was struggling on turn in and drive off. It was really a bad combination to have, and did some pit strategy, and then that caution came out there near the end, and yeah, it was just that last restart, starting second, trying to fight off on the high side. Chuck got past me, and then Tate got past us, and then I got past Chuck again, and watched the mayhem unfold. And Chad had got to my bumper too, which moved me up the track, which I think put me in a better spot to avoid Matt coming down, because I had a clear shot of seeing him go from the top down after getting kind of dumped there. I don't know, I haven't really seen it, so I can't really say anything about it. But yeah, I just got to the outside, and then I guess Johnny and I collided, and I somehow on my end I was kind of on my side on my roof coming across the line there, but I didn't really know where I was until we stopped. But yeah, that's a really great day for how the car felt throughout the day, and was really struggling there on the long run. So really happy we could pull that off.
All right, James Miller, probably very happy to be out of the drama right now and just happy with a second place finish after a top 5 start. James, thanks for talking to us. Congrats on a good finish. We'll see you later.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Moving on now to Matt Gruenberg in the 54. Matt, a frustrating finish. Talk to us about that restart. You know, it looked like the 56. I mean, he had fresher tires. He was coming, but it sounds like he didn't lift. What's your thoughts on this? And what do you have to say about that whole finish and that race as a whole?
Well, I was under power. It seemed like every time I got up near the front, I'd either get a little loose and then I'd lose a couple spots, or I think the 95 got on the 14 and I ended up going through the grass and hitting the rallycross jump there in the infield. And that gave me a little horsepower damage, so I was about 12 RPMs down after that. And just trying to fight our way back to the front. And I thought we were in a good position there on that last restart. We ended up with the lead there. And I think Tate after his spin, and then Chad ended up pitting and we got the lead. And I thought we were going to be in a pretty good spot there. But in that final corner, I mean, this is what this playoffs does. I mean, 3 races and that ends it. And I mean, he had the fresher tires and he was going for it. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It's the final lap. I don't know if I would have done the same thing or not, and being in the situation. I think we were setting up there to be even going into Homestead, so it would have been best man wins. But now we got a little bit more work to do. I think we got to pick up in 8 or 9 spots on him, so that'll be pretty tough. But it's looking pretty good for Tate. I mean, if that's what you got to do to win the championship, that's what you got to do.
All right, for Matt Gruenberg, he'll finish 8th place tonight after running a little bit better than that. But Matt, good luck next week at Homestead. We'll see you there.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to need it.
All right. A little bit surprised at that interview, feeling a little bit more calm, cool, and collected than I would have figured. But we're here now with Tate Lightle in the 56 race winner. Tate, dramatic restart. You had fresher tires, final lap. I think everyone knew you were going to move them. What are your thoughts and opinions on that last lap and the move on the 54?
Honestly, I wasn't even trying to get into him. I thought the way he was entering the corner, I thought he was going to leave the bottom open and we were going to drag race it. And right at the last second, he came down, and by the time I was off the gas, but by the time I was on the brakes, I was already underneath him. And I don't know. I hate winning them like that.
It's your fourth win. It's your 4th win of the season. You've been on a somewhat of a hot streak lately. I think we talked to you last week at Rockingham after you won that race, and I think you were a little bit surprised maybe at the increase in performance. We have one more race left this season. You're going to walk in with a large points lead. How do you keep this lead next week at Homestead, and are you a little bit worried about retaliation heading into the final race of the season?
I mean, I have a lot of respect for Matt, and I mean, if it came down to the last lap, I wouldn't be upset if he got into me at all, just because of what happened tonight. But he's definitely going to put up a fight. I don't know how many points I have up on him, but I just wish he would have got second and not wherever he ended up getting.
All right, hey, well, congratulations. We'll see you next week at Homestead. You'll be the championship leader heading into the last race of the season. Good luck out there. We'll see you.
Thanks, guys. Sorry again to Matt.
All right, let's see if we can get Justin Kolb in here in the number 52. He finished in 5th place tonight. Made it through most of the carnage. Ended up kind of crossing the line on his roof, But a 5th place result for you, Justin Kolb, you got to be pretty happy with that, all things considered. And you're actually finished ahead of 2 of the championship contenders. So I don't know what the situation is going to next week's point-wise, but your thoughts on the race and the finish tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was a race backwards, basically. Once that first caution, I think it was the first caution, right? I don't know. It whenever the first green flag stops were and that caution came out, kind of put us in a big hole, and we didn't get out of it until lap 195 or so. So we were having to race backwards, and then we finally got up to the front, and then everybody starts wrecking. And I don't really know what happened. All I know is that I was riding on Chuck's bumper. Everybody started wrecking. I got turned around, threw it in reverse, and then ended up on my roof. So quite the eventful night. I saw the 14 on his side and roof at some point at the catch fence. So, man, it's been one of those nights.
One of those nights, but a 5th place result for the 52. Congratulations on a top 5. We'll see you next week at Homestead. And hopefully you can see you in the championship victory lane if things go your way. Congrats on the 5th. We'll see you next week.
Heck yeah. Thank you.
All right. Hey, Vanilla, let's take one more look at this incident between Lightle and Gruenberg. Again, this is a replay of the last lap. I just want you to listen to the throttle of the 56. We'll get a couple more angles of this before we head off for the night. I just want to hear your opinion on this. So we're going to be quiet as we watch this.
Yeah, I mean...
To me, I know he said he didn't plan on going in there and taking him out, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really see... It was never going to make the corner.
Yeah, he didn't even... He didn't... If you listen back on it, he didn't really get off the gas until he collided. Yeah. So, I mean,
hey, as Matt Gruenberg said, you got to do what you got to do. I just don't know if this is going to put the 56 on everyone's Christmas card list heading into the last race, where it could be very important for him to be on everyone's Christmas card list.
I want to give Lightle the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, the way it doesn't look good for him. This is what I'm going to say. But Admin said they weren't going to take any action on it. They say once it's the halfway past the final lap, all bets are off.
All right, we actually have Johnny Thomas in the 83 now. Got a podium through all that, Finian, in the number 83. Johnny, I mean, the race today was chaotic, but you coming out of the last corner and going through all this chaos, walk us through what you could see as the field collided in front of you.
Hey, guys. Well, I was restarting, I think, 4th there. And I know Chad and Tate had fresher tires, and Tate got the better restart out of them guys, and I know he's going to take a run at Matt. And it's calamity right now. You should have put them all in the broadcast booth and let them hash it out. But Tate's making a run at him, and Tate's on fresher tires. I think Gruenberg might have gave him maybe a half lane, something like that, and he punted him out of the way. I think Gruenberg might have saved it, but he got the wall there and came down and crashed a lot of guys, and I made it through there. Me and I don't know what his name is, 42 car. We were hitting each other going across the start finish line, but it was exciting. I see the results. I don't have a shot to win this championship, but I'm happy for Tate. He put together a heck of a season. He missed a couple races early on, and he's gonna have a pretty big points lead going into Homestead now.
Yeah, you were saying it was exciting. We're just watching the replay. You squeezing into the fence and sliding across the finish line. Johnny, it was an incredible end of the race there. But just walk us through, when you saw those two cars sideways in front of you, just walk us through your thought process as you saw those cars sliding, which direction you decided to choose and why.
Yeah, well, usually when the cars start sliding, they go down the track. So I just went high, and I don't know who clipped the 42 car, but sent him back into me. I thought I was going to get second there. Kind of wanted Tate to spin out too. Maybe I had a shot to the win, but third place is good. It was nuts, man. But that's what you do when you have a restart with under 10 to go, and we did, and it's crazy. It's not like you don't want to finish like that with everybody wrecking, but sometimes I guess that happens.
All right, Johnny Thomas, third in the JTR Camaro in the 83 tonight. Johnny, congrats. We'll see you next week at Homestead. One last chance to get a race victory. We'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Fitting your race review, 200 laps tonight, 15 lead changes, 165 of our 200 laps were under green flag conditions, dramatic last lap pass, some controversy heading into Homestead next week. I think that just sent a clear message to everybody that next week, all fair game.
Got Chad Frank.
Oh boy, let's bring him in. Chad Frankenfield in the 15, finished in 7th tonight, was running 4th on the white flag lap. Chad, I know you're frustrated with the end result, but just talk to us about your opinion on that last lap incident and your race tonight.
I just want to make sure. Can you guys hear me?
I can, I got you.
I don't really have a lot of good things to say. Let's put it that way. I think everything could have been avoidable there. Very aggressive move for the win, and instead of holding the brake, he just comes across the track. So I think it would have been a better result for everybody if he would have held the brake. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's heat of the moment kind of thing. It's just kind of bogus for me to have a season we had, and that's basically it after that mess there on no final lap.
Next week at Homestead, it's the last race of the season. Tate Lightle goes in with a big points lead. Do you race the 56 or anybody else any differently next week for the last race of the season?
No, I mean it's basically I personally think it's done with the car count dropping. We're gonna really need Tate and Matt to basically. That's our only shot. So we're just gonna go out, try to win the race. Learn some things with Homestead. I've never driven there with this Cup car. And just try to finish the season strong. I mean, it's been a great season. So either way, I mean, I know I was capable of winning a championship, and obviously it's just something to build on for the future.
All right, Chad Frankenfield 7th tonight after running a little bit better than that on the white flag lap. Chad, unfortunate end of the race, but we'll see you next week at Homestead.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. That was a wild race, dramatic race, and Richmond has done that the last couple times we've been there. The Outsider Racing League always seemed to have drama there. Fuel a few months ago had a dramatic race, as does 3Wide tonight. Heading into the last race of the season next Sunday, it'll be the 3rd of November. It's Tate Lightle going to walk in with the points lead. We hope to see you there. As for tomorrow night, 3 races on SimTV tomorrow night, 7:45 p.m. It's going to be the Elite Modified Tour on speed51.com/Elite Modified Tour for their 3rd race of the season, I believe. And then it'll be 9 o'clock. Grid Life iRacers returns to SimTV Road Racing on Tuesday nights. That'll be at Silverstone with the Global MX-5 car. Also at 9 o'clock, Finian and Zach Passon will be bringing you Fuel Cup Series action from USA Speedway. It's the last race of the regular season and lining up the grid for the Fuel Finals. Then Wednesday night, the Washington, D.C. Region SCCA heads on to SimTV at 8:30 p.m. Road Racing again. Summit Point, TCR, Global MX-5. Thursday, the Fuel IndyCar Series, I think, are they back again this week? They're off this week. So it'll be the Outsider Racing League on Saturday at Homestead, and Homestead again on Sunday for the Truck Series for the Inzer Graphics Unreal Tour. That's it for the night. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you later.